Assalamu alaikum all. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I hear from a lot of people, which is where I don't know where my halal money is going. So, I speak to people and, usually like to talk about finances and things like that, just sort of try and bring it up because I feel like people don't kind of talk about it enough. And a lot of people would just say, when I kind of talk to them, do you know where your money's going, what you're doing with it? Or they're like, oh, I'm spending so much money. Like, what are you spending that money on? And I see this as like a common thing. And I'm going to explain in this video what I did when I had the same problem, which is where I didn't know where my money was going. So yeah, just want to say welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. Now, I used to have my income coming in from my main salary, and a lot of it would just disappear and stuff, and I had no idea what was going on. And especially at restaurants and things like that, and fancy places where like the food is and the service is just like really bad. So I've definitely kind of like, these are the areas that I needed to sort of work on. And I've definitely struggled with budgets as well. I tried a lot of kind of online apps and things like that. I really tried to sort of feel like over complicated things. And I had like so many different categories, trying to categorize stuff. And I just was not sticking to it at all. And another thing I would definitely say was I was very afraid to look at where my money was going, and I would just let this kind of just continue. I was spending on random things, just buying loads of stuff. Just if I see something on Amazon, I would just quickly buy it just straight away. But really thinking about, how much do I actually need it? And yeah, we'd go on holidays as well, spend like money on holidays, and and when you're out on holiday as well, you end up spending a lot of money as well. Being to places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi and stuff like that, and just spending a lot of money on my card. And yeah, it was just going crazy. A car used to cost a lot of money, like maintenance and stuff like that. And yeah, and just going out to, I don't know, the cinema, going out to eat, doing stuff, doing different events and things like that, spending money on clothes as well. My haircuts, I used to spend like £30 on a haircut. Now I don't spend anything. We just use clippers at home. But I would say probably the number one thing I did, and this is probably the most important thing, is just to face the fear with this no shame, no blame kind of philosophy, which I got from the book, Your Money or Your Life. And it's just like really important thing to think about. And it kind of felt great, just sort of facing up to it actually. And even though it was daunting, I feel the best thing is just to face the fear, almost like head on. And yeah, no matter how silly it was, and I spent something, ridiculous, like we spent £50 or something on this burger restaurant place. I don't know how we ended up spending that much amount of money with just some chips and like a single milkshake, and it was like crazy. Like some of the prices of things are mad. The next thing I did was I just stopped a credit card. It just confuses everything. You don't know where your money's going. Like you spend it on a credit card, and then when you look at your bank account, yeah, it doesn't match up. You go, oh, I've got all this money and I've been spending money. You end up spending more and more money, and then eventually you get billed for it, and then they take the money out later. There's this whole delay and lag in terms of when that money gets taken out of your bank account, and this can happen month after month after month. So definitely, like, say stop using your credit card. I built up a 5k debt of just buying random stuff and I have no idea. And yet another thing really super important I found was just having a separate account for my everyday spending. So all my regular direct debits and monthly payments come out of my main account. I kind of know what they are. When I'm spending money every day, like restaurants, groceries, things like that, I will use a separate bank account. And I use Monzo. And another good thing about using a separate bank account like this is it just automatically categorizes things for you. Sometimes you have to change the category on certain things. It might be a bit of a mistake, like maybe a particular restaurant or something like that, or some shop you went to. And that's fine. But once you do it once, it remembers it. Monzo remembers it, and it will just keep doing it and do it over and over again. And that makes it a lot easier to do. And the next thing is, and again, like this is what probably most of us know, is just to set up a budget. And I definitely recommend just set up a simple budget in Google Sheets. Anyone can just set up a Google account, go into Google Sheets, use the same categories as your separate bank account. So in Monzo, I've got like groceries, entertainment, dining out, but then also I have like just my household bills and expenses. So I have that as well, which just comes out of my main account, but just try and keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to overcomplicate it. And I really like this concept from Dave Ramsey, which is like give every dollar a name. So I know we're in the UK and we have pounds, and other places like different currency names, but you give every dollar a name. So like I'm going to use these £20 on groceries. I'm going to use this £10 on dining out. But then also another thing, and this was the thing that I needed to kind of really click for me, which was that like even when I put money into savings, that's giving that dollar a name. So I'll put this £10 into savings. That's already allocating it somewhere. And I think what a lot of people do is just kind of just spend whatever they have, and whatever they have left in their bank account, they just kind of transfer that to savings, or even just leave it in their current account or checking account, as you say in the US. So it's really important to be very intentional about that. And another thing is a budget is great. Like, doesn't matter what sort of budget, but even one on the back of a napkin, just get started. That's the most important thing. Don't let perfection kick in, which definitely happened to me as well. And now my budget is a lot more simpler, a lot more easier to use. And like, you know, I could potentially forget it for a few months and come back to it, and it still be pretty easy to kind of set up. And then once you have this budget, and especially once you have 1 month of data, you'd be very surprised. And the more data you have, the better it definitely gets. But even that first month is very revealing. You kind of see where your money's going. And I didn't realize how much money we were spending just grocery shopping. I thought we just grocery shop once a week, say about £70 a week or something. But we were spending way more than that. I was not realistic at all how much money I was spending. We kind of switched to Aldi now, which is like cheaper and does definitely help us. But then it kind of got us more thinking about where is our money going as well. And, you know, we spend a lot of money dining out as well, so I'll definitely cut that back now. I'm more intentional. When I do dine out, I want to dine out where something I think is going to be value for money and actually going to be good and something that I enjoy. But another thing is looking for those patterns is like super important. So once you have all this information, and you know, I've had subscriptions that I cancelled just because I had the budget. So I cancelled like this supplement subscription that I wasn't really using that much, so I kind of got rid of that. I'm a bit wary of how much I'm spending online in different places, and I just be able to kind of track it a lot better. And yeah, I also kind of use that to kind of negotiate new deals for my internet as well. So, you know, I've kind of now got even faster connection, and I'm playing slightly cheaper as well, which is like amazing. And all of this definitely sounds simple, but it takes practice. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're struggling to get going and things like that. But yeah, just want to say, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.